Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of The Lore Story, a show where we will look into the lore behind some of the most popular video games. I'm Jonathan Kreitch, and today we'll be taking a look at one of the first bosses of the hit game Elden Ring, Godric the Grafted. It should go without saying that there will be spoilers for some of the game's story, so if you haven't gotten a chance to play the game and don't want any spoilers, go ahead and play it first and experience it for yourself. Born from the Golden Lineage, but distant from the first Elden Lord Godfrey, Godric is currently found at the end of Stormveil Castle as the boss of the area. His past goes back to before the shattering of the Elden Ring and the wars that it caused. Godric was not always known as the Grafted, but had the title of Godric the Golden. This was because he was born in the Golden Lineage, descendants from the first Elden Lord Godfrey. He was not a direct descendant, but nonetheless had the title and power that came with it. During the events of the shattering, Godric claimed his own piece of the Elden Ring, his Great Rune. This great rune is known as the Anchor Ring, found within the center of the Elden Ring itself. This is quite fitting, as not only does it raise all attributes, most others raise only some, but it is also the first one presented to the player in order to obtain. It should be noted that with the open world nature of the game, it isn't the only first option, but is by far the easiest one to get. Roderica, an NPC you meet on the way to Stormveil Castle, tells the player that everyone she was traveling with has been grafted.
Everyone's been grafted. Everyone who came with me. They crossed the sea for me. They fought for me. Only to have their arms taken. Their legs taken. Even their heads taken. Taken and stuck to the spider.
I believe that this heavily implies that grafting hasn't been taking place forever, which started when Godric took control over Stormveil. Another NPC, Kenneth Height, notes on some of the events during the wars and after the shattering.
Honestly, Godric's nothing more than a jumped-up country bumpkin. Lord? Oh, don't make me laugh. First, he hid himself amongst the womenfolk to flee the capital, then hid from Radahn in that castle. Then he insulted Melania, lost to her in battle, only to lick her boots, rather than die like a man. Has he no shame, the big girl's blouse? And to think, he's the blood of Godfrey, last of the Golden Lineage, though you almost wouldn't know it to look at him. Yeah, I almost feel sorry for the chap the more I think of it.
These comments make Godric seem to be quite the coward, despite his claims to strength. It is thought that in order to gain power, Godric began to graft new limbs to himself, the same as one of his ancestors, Godfrey the Grafted, who also practiced this techniques to increase his strength. This act of attaching limbs to yourself was looked down upon in the lands between, as stated by the description of the remembrance of the grafted. A feeble man sought power through the grotesque act of grafting. This is what changed Godric's title to one of the Grafted and lost him the respect of many. Godric is an interesting boss overall. An interesting backstory with a fall from power and a reliance on frowned upon ways to rise again. And his ability of grafting goes all the way to his end, going even to attaching a dragon's head to his arm. Well, that's all I have for today. If you have any suggestions about who to talk about next, leave them in the comments below. This has been Jonathan Kreitch. Thank you for watching.